Hello, I'm Brian Esser from How to Automotive. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about stories from the shop, so stay tuned for that. Okay. So this story I'm about to tell you could save you a lot of money and hassle. So check this out. A car went to Jiffy Lube, and they had an oil change done and stuff. They were going on a trip, and they performed their service, right? Customer gets in the car, drives off, and then maybe 20 miles down the road, radiator explodes on them, and the car ended up getting towed to my shop. So we get the vehicle and we're checking it out, and we say, oh, the radiator exploded here, the top tank here. It has some signs of leaking before, possibly. Well, the customer called up Jiffy Lube and said, hey, we were just at your shop. You guys didn't mention to us any of these problems, whatever we documented on our side of it. So we did a full inspection, and we came up with a list of things that the car needed, because they were going on a trip, and they told the Jiffy Lube that that's what they were doing. They wanted the car to be looked over and make sure it was okay to go on that trip. So Jiffy Lube performed their service, and they didn't write anything down about the radiator. All they did was try to sell them some filters and stuff like that. So anyways, Jiffy Lube gets a phone call from the customer. Jiffy Lube drives down to our shop and checks the car out, and we point out, blah, 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 this is what the problem, this was what the problem, this was the problem. And what ended up happening is Jiffy Lube agreed for us to go ahead and put in a new radiator, fix the car, and then fix a few other things on it, in hopes of keep that customer that they let down. Now, this radiator was in bad shape, and it was definitely not Jiffy Lube's fault for the radiator going out. It was just age on the radiator. But what they did was they failed to document it. If they would have documented it and said, hey, your vehicle is in need of a radiator, there's signs of a leak, if they would have wrote that down, it was pretty obvious that this thing needed a radiator, and it had like corrosion and stuff like that around the top tank and stuff. So if they would have documented that, they would have said, hey, I'm sorry, ma'am, or sir, that this happened to you, but we wrote that down, and we told you and pointed it out, and you didn't want us to do anything about it. So actually, I don't even know if Jiffy Lube could do anything about it, but it's on them for not getting the car serviced before they went on their trip. And that would have been the end of it, and they probably still would have kept the customer. The customer probably still would have went back to Jiffy Lube for their oil changes and stuff. But in this case, since they did not document it, Jiffy Lube is agreed to pay for it. In good faith, they're going to pay for the repairs, and then hopefully retain the customer, which I don't think will happen. It was a pretty big letdown. But I think our shop's going to gain a new customer, because we did them a solid. We fully inspected their vehicle, let them know everything it needed, all the issues of it, fixed what was priority for them to make that trip, and we did that for them. And we did that with, in a timely fashion, and now they're off on their trip. The moral of the story is, if you guys don't document what you see on the vehicles, even if you don't want to do the job or work on it, it would definitely come back and bite you in the butt. Maybe not stay, but in some way, shape, or form, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. And also, this is not a shop problem. This is an individual technician problem, because if you caused the customer not to come back, that's less vehicles for you to work on. That means the shop is slower than it used to be, or that means they have to advertise, or they have to do stuff like that to get more customers in, which costs the shop more money, which means that's money that could be going to you as far as bonuses or a pay increase or anything like that. And if you do enough of these things, obviously they're going to find out about it or know about it, and they're going to let you go. So as an individual employee at the shop, it's important for you to document and cover your butt, so you're not the one on the hook. You're not the one bringing the shop down, and you're doing the best job you can do, so you can keep the money flowing in the shop, so you can support your family. I'm Brian Esser from How to Automotive, and I hope this story was helpful. I'd like to thank you guys for watching and encourage you to subscribe and watch this video up here or here.